Hello everyone, or no one, and welcome to Delo Gaming. I'm a bad gamer, and I played Red Alert 3 and the expansion pack, Uprising, and I found this, or rediscovered this is a better term. Now there is no more this logo, and it's all about this logo. So what do you get when you get a lot more money thrown into a game? Well, you get something that I think is actually kinda cool, and I think it was quite revolutionary at its time. But first, let's go back in time and think about what I remember from this game when I played it back in 2008. First of all, I'm a massive RTS fan. I have played pretty much every RTS game out there. All the Command & Conquer games, Warcraft, Age of Empires, Rohan, and many more. I remember being very excited for Red Alert 3 to be released because I've been playing so much of my favorite RTS game of all time, Command & Conquer Generals, for several years. I was ready for something new, and something new we definitely got. I remember there were things about the game that I was not a particular fan of, and there were some things that I absolutely adored about the game. And replaying the game again now, 17 years later, I still agree with my old self. I absolutely love the campaign missions in both the main game and the expansion pack. I think they are really cool, innovative, very story-driven, and they threw a lot of money on actors to play the characters in the cutscenes, which made it even cooler. Just look at this.
No, it isn't ready. It hasn't been tested. We don't even know if it works.
If what works?
My time machine. No, touch nothing. We mustn't do anything to disrupt space-time continuum.
Where are we?
Brussels, 1927.
1927.
The Solvay International Physics Conference.
Is that Einstein?
Yes, Doctor. The man most responsible for our enemy's technological superiority. The man who made them invincible.
What do you plan to do?
Gentlemen?
Doctor!
Today is the day that destiny has promised us. No longer will we suffer the abasement and the corruption of the foreign barbarians. For as they battled among themselves, we have resurrected our realm, creating a new empire of the rising sun.
That was bang on brilliant, Commander. Excellent work. And I have to say, the Soviets are proving to be a valuable ally.
Dakota.
What? Oh, Ackerman. Get the president on the line. What's happening at this Mount Rushmore Command Center, Mr. President?
Those Reds are playing you for a fool, my friend. And as long as I'm the president of these United States, I can't allow them to lead this dance. Bingham, you can thank me later when this is all over.
When what's all over?
Well, that's a good question. Thank you.
There you are. Battle control is finally online and everything is in place.
How great wasn't that? And they upgraded the mission briefing to feel like a proper mission brief. This is also where you could choose, in my opinion, the most revolutionary thing in this game, that you could co-op play the campaign missions with your friend. I think that was a pretty cool and fun idea back in the days. And if you choose to play solo mode, you got an AI that played with you instead of a friend, that you could give some basic commands to. On this area, I think the game was pretty ahead of its time and was made for cooperation play. In the expansion pack, they added challenges or scenarios that you could play. I also remember that I loved those, and I still do, but I didn't remember that they were so hard. Now, replaying these again, I was really struggling on a couple of them and really had to twist my brain on how to deal with some of those challenges. That was actually quite fun to do again. Speaking of difficulty, I think overall there's a significant difficulty spike in Red Alert 3 compared to the other games. enemies on hard difficulty is pretty hard to deal with. And I think it's because the game is made for cooperation play. 2 human brains is cleverer than 1. The campaign missions and the challenges are just solid 10 out of 10 for me in an RTS game. So let's talk about a couple of things that I thought was a little bit off-putting in this game. Let's start with some minor stuff. Let's begin with the graphics. I in general really don't care about how graphics in a game look. As long as I can see and understand what's going on, I'm happy. But I have to say, in this game, the cartoonish style they chose to go with in this game was a little bit weird to me. And the scaling and clunkiness of the tanks and how they look in the environment, I didn't think looked that great. I loved the look of Command & Conquer Generals, and that game came out 5 years before this one, and I think that looked actually better than this one. The other thing that I'm not a particular fan of is the third faction they added in Red Alert 3, the Empire of the Rising Sun. I can't really put my finger on why I'm not a huge fan of this. I think it's nostalgia that's kicking in, that Red Alert is red versus blue, and I honestly think the game would be just fine without this faction. But I also think they are too high technological. They got insane robots, and is this weird mix of super high tech that should have been overpowered, but they mixed it with old traditions which dumbs them down. Like they use bows and arrows, but the arrow is lasers. I feel like this faction, by the way they build buildings and the tech they have, they should be closer to the Tiberian Wars series than Red Alert. I want weird tanks and cool units, but not ninja robots like this.
Commander.
I think the worst part of this game was the single-player campaign they added in the expansion pack, where you get to play that weird psychic chick and learn about her backstory. It's an attempt to make a single-player campaign in an RTS game. It's fine that they tried, but I really didn't think it was very fun and worked very well. So now, replaying and reflecting about this game, now so many years later, there is still something I can't really figure out the answer to why. I remember that in Red Alert 2 I played skirmishes like forever. Same in Command & Conquer's Generals. I could play skirmishes against AI or with friends all day long. Just try out new stuff, do weird shit, just have a lot of fun. But for some reason in Red Alert 3 I'm not that compelled to play skirmishes. I also remember it was the same back in 2008 and it's the same now. I just don't feel that urge to play skirmishes. I just want to play the campaign and the challenges and I'm done. And I wonder why it's like this. Could it be the difficulty spike that put people off or puts me off? That it's only like the die-hard RTS fans that stayed with the game or keep playing the game? Or is it the fact that every time after a mission briefing you have to choose solo mode, you get depressed that you got no friends? Or is it the difficulty? Or is it the fact that David Hasselhoff is the President of the United States? Who knows? Sadly, the RTS genre is more or less dead now, so all we can do is raise a glass for the good times they gave us back in the days. And I will, as always, leave you with the Steam reviews, and I bid you farewell. Strategy game. Comunismo versus Capitalismo versus Anime. It's a great throwback strategy game. If you play this on hard, you have to think and use strategy instead of overwhelming force. Tim Curry goes to space. It's really hard to play RTS game with only one hand. It's sheer stupidity, but a masterpiece at that. Okay, Red Alert 2 is still better. Like porn, but instead of sex scenes, there's tanks. Step 1. Blow up the President of the United States. Step 2. Blow up the Premier of the Soviet Union. Step 3. Go on a date with the cute intelligence briefing commander and your hot commando special agent. Step 4. Profit. Old but gold. My wife left me and took the kids because of how much Red Alert 3 I've been playing. Epic game.
You didn't forget my invitation, did you, Commander? I was hoping you were free this evening.
Not bad, huh, Commander? I clean up pretty good. How about celebrating over a drink tonight? I know this great little pub in Soho. Commander?